Nobody has one here. Ho, ho, ho.
Okay.
Christmas is coming.
Accurate.
It's a weird typo.
Well, no, it's not a typo. I'm trying to type in, and again, a little frustrating on the
I'm
database
feeling
here.
Is
attacked
there-
personally, but it's fine.
Is there internet
Uh,
slow?
You internally attacked yourself on that, and I'm going to leave that alone. We got little events that come at the next segment, so I want to dive into our one-star headline report. Josh, baseball's over, but I want to dive in real quick before we get to the Ravens Bengals game, and if we don't get to it, we can get to it later on. There was big talks about Garrett Cole trying to bail from the Yankees, but it looks like he's going to stay put.
Yes.
These are very rapid fire, very Misty's bag questions like I'm throwing at you.
Okay.
Both Yankee related. Garrett Cole thought about bailing from the Yankees. Number two, I heard there was talk that Juan Soto could get a contract larger than Shohei's. Is that true? Ready? Go.
First of all, I don't think Garrett Cole was trying to bail from the Yankees. He had a mechanism in his contract that he could opt out of his contract, and the Yankees had first right of refusal to bring him back at an increase of $36 million. So there was just some negotiating going on there. I don't think he wanted to leave, but you can try to play their hand and see if you can get that automatic 36 million, or you go on the open market. After he said he was opting out, they got together and they discussed it, and for whatever went on behind closed doors, or maybe his agent was like, this is the best deal you're going to get. But then he decided just to stay on his current contract. So there was less suspense there for me. I thought that even if the Yankees had to do the 36 million additional, they would have done it. So I never thought Cole was going to leave. I don't think Soto will get more than Shohei, purely because the way that Shohei's contract is, where he makes $1 million a year while he's actually playing, and then like billions of dollars after he's retired. I don't think any team is going to do that again, and I'm not sure that other players want to go that route, because there's very few players that have the international draw of endorsement deals to be able to live the lifestyle that they feel like they want to live, and not make the huge bucks now. So I think Soto is going to I think his contract probably will be the most expensive in terms of like dollars today, because if you adjust for inflation, which is how they work the Shohei deal, by the time in 20 years when they're still paying him, obviously that money is going to be worth less than it would if they paid him that today. So I think Soto, from what I've read, he'll be in the 600 million range, but it's not going to be all backloaded that put Shohei to 700 million.
Well, it's just interesting. Again, I think baseball will get exciting now off the field. I don't think it's off season as exciting as football is off the field. I know you probably do, but we'll see what happens there.
It's slow burn. That's the problem with baseball. Football and basketball, it all happens very quickly, and pieces start to fall. And once one guy signs, it's like you got to hurry and sign this other guy. In baseball, that process takes 3 months, and sometimes you don't even know till right before spring training or in spring training where people are going. So that's the reason it's not as exciting. But there's always something moving, and there's a lot of speculation right now as to where those parts will move. But the big players can hold up the market, because all the teams that are wanting those big players, don't want to go get somebody else. If they're waiting to try to get Soto, they don't want to go to whoever Plan B is, and yada yada.
Yeah. So anyway, interesting on the baseball front. A couple things. We'll talk more about this a little bit later, Misty. Dennis Allen out at New Orleans. Now there's 2 coaching jobs officially open. The Saints are out, and oh my goodness, who's the other one that got fired? Robert Saleh. So those 2 are open. We're going to look and see how many coaches do we think, how many jobs will be open, and are there any? And right now there are more teams. There are like 8 or 9 teams. It's 8 or 9 with 9 losses that. They're just not very good teams at all. We're going to talk more about the NFL game last night, but first, we're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we will have state cross-country champion Lily Benson on the Pest Control phone line. Talk about what it's like not only to win, but to have all those people behind you. And if you remember the Seinfeld episode, she must have had her alarm clock set just right. Be sure you have your alarm set and clock set. Be sure you get over to Lawrenceville Abilene and buy a new truck, car, or SUV. If you need it, they'll get you taken care of. When we come back, our Big Country Electric My Town segment with Lily Benson, state cross country champion.
He said Lily Benson. I like the way you said that. Okay,
So we got four
green room.
Big Ten, four SEC, Boise, BYU, Notre Dame, and Miami.
Yes.
That's the 12.
We can do this as, I'm not using this today for the C5, so you and I can use this for when Josh leaves. And we can talk about policy later too.
I'll be right there, Dr. Perry.
Welcome to Roby Consolidated ISD. If you know.
Hello? Hello, is this Lily? All right, it's Lily Benson, correct? All right, perfect. We're at commercial. And, ooh, not a very good signal. All right, so Lily, let's talk a little bit before we come on air. All right, do you know how many people were total in the race? Awesome. And you are a senior. All right, so what we'll probably ask, we have a couple more things. We'll just talk about why you enjoy running. How long have you been at Roby? You grown up there or what? Okay, so you moved there years ago. Where'd you move from? Oh, Benjamin. Okay, yeah. I coached at Roby for 7 years. I was the basketball. I was the head boys basketball coach from 2004 to 2011. There should be a couple of. Hopefully they kept the gold balls. There should be some gold balls with my name on it. Yeah. So, are you related to any of the? So, what brought you to Roby? Cool. Good deal. All right. Do you play the other sports? Okay, good. There you go. Yeah, Coach Williams was at Roby when I was coaching, and I coached her brother, Phil. Yeah, so, all right, we got this. All right, I'm going to do a couple more things, and we'll get rolling, okay? Welcome back to the Hodgepodge, sports life and everything in between. When you hear that, you know it's time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment. And it's pretty fitting because our Big Country Electric Co-op folks are taking care of their members each and every day out of 3 amazing offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stanford. And joining us on our Pest Control phone line is right from Roby, Lily Benson. As I mentioned, the state cross-country champion on our Pest Control phone line. Lily, we appreciate you joining this morning. I know it's early. You've got some tough classes, early practice, all the things. We appreciate you joining us this morning. All right, so Lily, you're a senior, and for some people that will look at it, we're like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. She likes running. But what do you love so much about running, cross country, track, and all the things? Just what made you fall in love with running?
Well, I always did when I was little, starting from 6th grade, and I just kept on running and started falling in love with it. And once I got into high school, we did running as a team, and that just made me love it more.
Well, exactly. So talk a little bit, how you mentioned that you had haven't been Roby K through 12. Where did you start school, and how long have you been at Roby?
Well, I was originally from Benjamin, Texas, and I've been in Roby for about 8 years.
Yeah, of course, a lot of folks knew about Benjamin in the last few years, got Benjamin on the map with the state championships in football and all the things. So what have you enjoyed about Roby? And you say 8 years, that's a lot of, being in school. And so what do you love about being a Roby Lady Lion?
I love the community. The people here are very great, very nice people.
Well, that's cool. So let's talk about senior year. Y'all are coming off some big team accomplishments, winning state in track and winning state in cross country. And so what were some of your goals that you had as a senior, knowing, hey, this is it, my last time as a Roby Lady Lion on the cross country, and then we'll talk basketball and track. What are some goals that you have, and obviously one that you've accomplished for your senior year?
Well, we usually win to stay as a team and stuff, but this year was just me individually. So I just had to show up for Roby and do good to make my school look great.
Well, and one of the things that there's been a lot of success there from throwers and runners and all that at Roby, and so it's got to be cool knowing that you're going to be cemented in as one of those history makers in the cross country world, and not only at Roby but as a UIL state champion. So what was that day like? What was the day like of being there? Were y'all at Round Rock as well?
Yes, sir.
What was that day like, and what's your day like preparing for that and that final race as a senior in cross country?
Well, at first I was scared because at regionals I was ranked 5th, so it was just a scary start for me. But whenever I started, I realized I need to show up for my school. I need to be good.
So what is and one of the questions that Misty always asks, one of our co-hosts, is do you have any special routines or anything that you go through as you get ready to run?
I like to pray before I run.
That's always a good thing. Prayer is always definitely a powerful thing when it comes to running. And so you're running, and at what point did you have a big distance between you and second? What was that race like? Give us a little bit of a play-by-play.
Well, at the start, I was probably, I'd say, back. And I just started going and started picking off people. And then I realized I was in second. And before the mile marker, I just passed the first place runner. And
So was there a big sprint at the end? What was that like? And then I know the photo, we've got it on our Facebook page of you crossing. What was it like knowing I'm about to win this thing?
It was very shocking, very shocking. At the end, I noticed there was a girl who was right beside me, so I had to give it all that I got.
And so you cross and you got your arms up in the air. I'm sure Coach Williams and all your teammates, the community of Roby were excited. What did it mean to get to step on that podium? And I know it's not like the Olympics. They didn't play the Roby national anthem or the American national anthem or the Roby school song or anything, which they should. I mean, they ought to start trying that. But what was it like being on that podium, knowing again you're going to be etched in history as a state champion and I know the team awards are great, but being that individual state champion, what was that feeling like being on that podium?
It felt amazing, like having so many people from your school, community proud, especially your dad being proud of you. It's just a great feeling.
So, all right, cross country's over, basketball for the girls, and really guys, everybody's starting. So what do you see, or what's your goals for the rest of your senior year in basketball and track?
For basketball, hopefully I'll get state finals, and I say in track, give me a few more state championships.
I like the goals. All right, we got to ask this: what's the plan post? Are you getting recruited? Or you want to go run in college? What's the plan for the class of 2025, Lily Benson? What's the plan for Lily post Roby?
Hopefully run for Midwestern State.
All right, I like it. I already know, gonna go be a Mustang. Well, Lily, I appreciate you taking the time. Do me a big favor. You're gonna see two of my favorite people that I got to teach with, Miss Coker and Sandra Moore. Tell them Ryan says hello. They're great people. You're at a great school, and I know I almost joked and said I bet we could get her out of pre-cal, but I didn't want you to miss Miss Coker's class. So. And since Mr. Bennett's there, I don't want him thinking I was trying to get you out of education either. So, but I appreciate you taking the time, Lily. Congratulations. I'm sure Al Pickett will be trying to get you into the Big Country Hall of Fame and visit it as a state champion. But you get to carry that with you, and definitely something nobody can take away from you, and being a state champion, cross-country runner. It's a very cool thing. And knowing that there was roughly, give or take, what did you say? Another 139 people behind you. Very cool accomplishment, and congratulations.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, that's Lily Benson, Roby Lady Line, getting ready to hang the medal and now start trying to win some gold balls in basketball. We appreciate Lily joining us on our Pest Control phone line. When we come back, the college football playoffs first bracket are out, and we will see if we agree or disagree. We'll be back right after this.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you,
Lily, thank you so much.
I mean, it'll be a weird hybrid because it's like you have to, get all new passcodes, log on to all the stuff and set all.
software changes.
Yeah. But they are keeping your service time as far as like accumulating,
That's great.
like it all stays, so it's.
That's really good.
We have 5 vacation days less than what I have
Oh, that's a
currently.
bummer.
But that's only because I don't get the opportunity to negotiate, because that's one of the things that old, what's the word I'm looking for? advice that someone gave me a long time ago. Said, anytime that you're interviewing or looking to go somewhere, ask for additional vacation days. Because if they're wanting to hire you anyway, they're way more likely to do that than if you ask for like more money.
Uh-huh. I had never thought about that, but yeah.
And so when I started where I'm at now, I negotiated starting at the second tier
Yeah.
of
Do
vacation.
they do it every so many years?
Yeah, it's like
Or-
you like at 5 years you get this, and at 10 years you
Yeah,
get this.
we get another week at 5 years.
And that's how it is
Yeah.
where I'm at now. And I just like negotiated in the hiring process that I start at the 5-year
Yeah,
vacation tier.
yeah, that's good.
So, but that I'm gonna go back, and for 1 year I'll have 5 less days, and then I'll be there 5 years, and then
you'll get it,
like,
yeah.
because it starts. If you were hired at any point during a year, the way that they do it is that's when you're on January 1 of that year is when they give you credit for your 5 years.
Right,
So like,
the rest of that,
yeah, so I didn't,
what, will you get a full week or? is
A
it
full
days?
extra week.
Oh, yeah, that's
Uh,
good. That's what we get.
but for one year, I'll be on the 1 to 4 year,
The low
right,
end, yeah.
which is
So
still,
y'all max out, like at 4 weeks or 5 weeks or?
I don't remember. I know that
Okay,
the new place does not roll over any vacation. Yeah, so that's a difference that I have to adjust to also.
Well, welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Life and everything. Give it 20. We appreciate Lily Benson joining us on our Pest Control phone line. Josh, what do you think you could beat 140 people in and be first?
Oh, well, there's a lot of things. None of them that are of any importance, though. Like, let me think. I could probably be first place in 140 people. Man, it's hard. I could probably drink milk faster than 140
Let
people,
me ask you this. Do you think
but then I'd throw up.
of the
No,
100, if you were in this race, would you get 140?
Oh, for sure. Unless,
Misty, well, y'all both work out.
like,
Do you think you could today at
At
30, 30-ish,
Um,
do you think you could not get 140?
I think I could not get 140.
Oh,
well, it
I
depends.
think I would, yeah, I think I would be in the top 100. I would say
You
I'm
think you could
40,
be 40 of
Yeah.
the top Class A girls?
1A.
Somebody might trip and
Yes.
fall, so I might have the chance to beat
I think so,
somebody.
yeah, I think so. Some are gonna tumble, and
I'm
I'm gonna
bet-
keep going.
I have a better chance of getting 140 first. Like a fan enters out of nowhere and still wins.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not gonna sell ourselves short, Josh. We're gonna.
Well,
I'm
I have,
some.
I'm
I
not
have,
selling
You're
myself
you're
short.
like, I'm just
I'm
out.
selling myself accurate.
well, I don't know when I'd have the motivation to run that far.
Because
Yeah,
The-
tell me, how many miles is this again?
I don't know if it's changed. When I was running cross country way few times ago, it was 3 miles for guys and maybe a mile or two. I think it was 2 miles maybe for girls. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Roby folks are still listening, or my cross country passionate people.
Okay, so I'll say I'm better than, than 20. We'll lower it to 20.
All right, so, well, we'll transition into, do you think, well, we know you wouldn't make the top 12.
No, heck no.
So let's look. The top 12 have been out. They've got them set. And Josh, what was your thoughts on, so we've got 4 undefeated teams left. Those 4 undefeated teams are Oregon, Miami, Indiana, and BYU. Miami, if it was the old school, they would still be in it. They are in the top 4. Again, this is just the first.
And Army, you left out Army.
Oh, Army, well, they're not in the top 20, they're not in the top 12.
They're in the top 25, so.
They're not in the top 12.
Okay,
So in the top 12.
sorry, I didn't catch your specificity on.
Well, now, don't get me wrong, probably in about 2029, it'll go from 12 to 25 like in college
And
basketball.
Army's in.
And Army gets in. So you have those 4 teams, but if it were to end today, if this past Tuesday, was the day that the college football playoff would be set, it'd be Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, and Miami. Miami, undefeated, but find themselves ACC again at number 4 with Ohio State and Georgia. It looks like that they look at the loss that Ohio State had, that close loss against Oregon, of more value than the win Georgia had against UT. So if you look at this, again, top 4 are going to get buys. Boise State, who you had, Misty, as your thought, and,
Yeah, I
and,
like
they-
that.
and they've kind of been that hovering. Them and Army are probably the 2 people are looking at of being that non-power 4 group getting in. When you looked at, again, it's only week 1. A lot of things are going to change. Georgia and Tennessee are going to play. Georgia and Ole Miss this week is a big game. Ohio State still has to play Michigan that final game, but Ohio State and Indiana are going to play each other. So all this is going to play itself out a little bit more, but you also have to remember the conference has gotten so big that not everybody is going to play that person
Right.
they need to.
You don't automatically have the head-to-heads.
But then again, one of the things, and I was listening to Golick and Gojo and Golick on their podcast, Penn State's in a position where they're probably not going to be in the Big Ten championship, which means they should win out and only have the 1 loss. There is now not going to be even more so maybe a benefit to play in the Big Ten championship or a conference championship unless you need it to get in.
Well, right. I felt like that was one of the interesting things about the way this format would play out, that if you do happen to miss that championship game, that could end up benefiting you. And if you sneak into the championship game out of some of those places that have divisions and things like that are not just automatically the top 2 or whatever the case may be, you could have a couple losses and end up in the playoff. So because I definitely could see something like that happening in the Big 12, with the way that the year has gone for the Big 12. There's BYU is still undefeated, but not really getting a whole lot of love, and I understand that. But I find it very interesting that I guess it really is just Army and Boise that are in the top 25 that are not in the Power 4 schools.
It's going to be between them.
Yeah, so wherever one of those ends up highest in the rankings, so we'll see how that goes. But the SEC and the Big Ten both have 4 schools in the top 12, and then the rest of them are single from you mentioned Miami already. We mentioned BYU, Boise, and who was the other one that I'm leaving out now?
That's undefeated.
Indiana?
No, they're in the Big Ten. Maybe I miscounted. Notre Dame. That's the one. It was not in a conference. So anyway, that was my brain froze for a second because I was like, which conference are they in? They're not. That's why. So anyway, all that to say that there is going to be a lot of back and forth with those SEC. There's 4 of them still in there. The Big Ten, 4 of them still in there. But then if you also look at 13 through 18. There's more Big Ten and SEC schools there. So, there's
Well, and I'm going to throw this out, and I'll let you answer, Misty. I think there may be a better benefit for SMU is the one that I think being 13 right now is not bad.
Oh, no, because
Being
when
13
someone
right now
loses, you're just going to get that bounce.
Well, it's because Georgia plays Ole Miss this week, and they still have Tennessee on the schedule. We mentioned Indiana is going to play Ohio State. Indiana probably doesn't have to win that game against Ohio State, but it's got to be a ball game. If they lose it close game, then they're probably going to stay in. To me, the one that's very interesting is you've got A&M hanging out with 2 losses, still in position to make a move. My question to you, Misty, could you see a good 3-loss team getting into the top 12?
I'm assuming you're talking, well, I mean, there's a couple that could be on that list, but when we talk about like Bama, no, I think 3 losses and you should be out. So that's just my opinion. I think that, no, and I would love to not see Bama in that list.
Well, you're gonna see that this weekend. I
Yeah.
mean, Alabama, LSU gonna be, game day gonna be there tomorrow. Do want to throw out, I wanted to maybe do it at the end, but throw it out. Shout out prayers to Kirk Herbstreit, if y'all noticed, he's on, any socials. Ben, who's been at all the games with him, he passed away, had to put him down. But the dog Ben, it passed away and all that. So, but, gonna be on, college game day tomorrow in LSU. You're basically playing for your playoff life.
Right, that's what I.
Ole Miss is playing for their playoff life against Georgia. Georgia at 2 losses is probably still gonna be okay to see what happens. To me, what I'm cheering for is Army over Notre Dame, because I think Notre Dame, if they're going to, Army, I think, is the only one left that can get them knocked out. I think USC's lost their luster, but A&M, that 2 losses have a chance to get out. All right, I don't know if y'all have the rest of it. 13 through 25, Ohio State loses to Tech. We all got that one wrong. Who do you think is the one looming of possibly having the benefit of winning a conference and getting in at 2 losses? And I'm asking you, would you want them in?
Are you talking about Colorado?
Yes.
I knew it. Yeah, I want them in. Yeah, I would love to see Colorado in, but I've been on Colorado. I mean, I just like the swagger. I just like it. A lot of people don't. I just like it. So, yeah, put them in. It's good for drama, good for TV. So, yeah, I would like them to be in.
And we'll be picking those again at the top of the hour. We'll have Cameron Wiley, Air Force vet, a military veteran, will be our guest picker. But we'll be picking this Tech Colorado game, 3 o'clock tomorrow. All that'll come with it. But this first set, it kind of shows you. Do we think BYU's going to hold on? I mean, I do think the Big 12's only getting 1 team in. But we're going to see this over the next few weeks. Each week, this finding out what the committee looks at, what the committee cares about. Miami doesn't have anybody really tough left on their schedule. Georgia Tech beat Florida. Miami has been in a lot of close games and have found a way to win them. But I'm telling you, I love this part because when it was only 4 and 6 on the graphic, it was not near as exciting. This is way better.
Oh, yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. And I just pulled a Misty and said, yeah, no. I put this on our pickup so we can talk about, where we think it's going to go. But I feel like this week is the week that BYU has a strong chance to be to no longer be undefeated.
But the only thing is that rising kid's gone, and so Utah's struggling right now.
They are struggling, but this is a night game, rivalry game. Utah's playing at home. There's going to be no shortage of
It'll be wild.
desire for them to be the season killer for BYU. I'm not saying that was what I would pick, but I'm saying that's a game to watch, and that's why I want us to pick it, because it's a trap game, a rivalry game. This late in the season, it's a trap game.
And again, last week we said it's Texas A&M the best team in Texas. They go, and we mentioned trap game. They head up to South Carolina and lose a little bit of the luster. I still think the luster of the collision that we're going to see on November 30th of Texas and Texas A&M game is still going to be there no matter what. But now SMU, they finished with Boston College, Virginia, and California. They got a help from Louisville last week. Louisville beating Clemson. Now SMU is on this trajectory. If things don't change, if you don't let somebody, they destroyed Pitt. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see 48-25 coming. I saw SMU maybe winning, and maybe that's why they knew the 7-point spread was the 7-point spread. But they got a chance to run the table, and then it's going to be them in Miami to play for the ACC championship And that may be, in my opinion, the way they get two teams in.
I could see two teams from the ACC. If Miami's only loss is to SMU in the championship game, then they both have a strong. Well, obviously the winner would automatically make it, but Miami would still have a strong resume to be in that top 12, especially if we start getting more 2 and 3 loss teams. Because I agree with Misty. I don't want there to be a 3-loss team in there. I don't think that there should be, even though you could have a team that is a good team, an Alabama, that ends up with 3 losses, and all 3 of their losses being against teams that are in the top 5 or 6.
And then so you look at the Big 12 situation. BYU's still undefeated. They've got Utah this week, but then you look at Colorado. Colorado, unfortunately, they don't get to play Iowa State. They finish with Tech this week, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. They get Utah at home, they go on the road to Kansas, and they get Oklahoma State at home. Oklahoma State's a team that kind of doesn't know if they're going to be any good, show up bad or not. So Colorado could run the table. Before we go to commercial, I do want to check and see what Iowa State has left. Iowa State has Kansas this week, Cincinnati, Utah, and Kansas State. So if I'm Colorado, I want to win, but then I'm rooting for Kansas State in Manhattan. Because
but then Kansas State just has 2 losses, so they've got the same record as Colorado. I mean, it's going to be a cluster with the 1 and 2 loss teams in the Big 12 as far as like any of them. Does any 1 or 2 loss Big 12 team have any sort of standing to get into the top 12
without being the champion?
Without being the champion, not a chance.
They're going to have to win it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
I don't even know, and we're going to go to commercial and come back with Misty's back. I don't even know if a 1-loss BYU gets in.
No, I don't think so. I think BYU, they've been waiting to write them off. That's why they've been so slow to move up in the rankings.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, pretty crazy. But anyway, when we come back, we'll open up Misty's back. Yeah, I absolutely love the new playoff.
Well, Colorado at Tech. I think Colorado actually is just like
I think they've upgraded because right now they're not just barely beating people, they're winning with a little bit of authority. I'm not saying a ton.
Because Tech was obviously undefeated until Baylor came to town and wore them out. And there was a lot of hype, beginning in, local hype, no national hype about, Tech being good. And
I mean, then Colorado losing, I mean, what's bad is they lost to Kansas State. But they beat.
That's what I'm saying, that 2-loss Kansas State.
Baylor only by 7. They destroyed UCF.
They beat Baylor by 7 on pure, just like, the sky
That
opened up.
That was the fumble.
Yes. I mean,
In the back of the end zone.
there were 3 plays, I sat and watched it, 3 plays in that Baylor Colorado game that went Colorado's way that were just dumb luck plays.
Yeah. That's happened to Baylor. I feel like Baylor and the Bengals are on the same trajectory of like,
You go,
Oh, the poor Bengals.
no, I'm just like, poor Bengals, like, golly. I mean, Joe just cannot catch a break. It's sad.
because one of the plays in that Colorado game that is just burned into my memory is the Colorado, I believe it was receiver, could have been running back, don't quote me on who it was, goes down to the ground, catches himself with this one hand, and his knee is like this.
Yes.
And I mean,
it
it is this far.
It could have easily been called, yeah.
You could have called it either way, but just the fact that he was able to stay up by, like a half an inch and then, takes it to the house.
Right.
If his knee hits the ground right there or is called down, then Baylor wins that game. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like,
No, you're not wrong.
What's your status on lunch? Kids all good?
I'm bringing Bear Boy with me. Sick one? He's not sick anymore.
I don't care. All these other people, I mean, I understand that kids, they freak out. I don't freak out.
He had runner fever. He actually got strep, but never ran a fever.
Which one, you said Barrett?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And, he got his
One of the other
antibiotics.
two, still sick?
Well,
I feel bad. I feel like Tracy struggles with getting stopped up and all that. I feel like her and Leanne are like,
yeah, Leanne,
they don't share the same nose, but
no, Leanne's constantly like, you would think she was sick when she doesn't
Just
have
like
anything.
allergies or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
But, see, here's the thing, in hindsight, now that Barrett got strep and they tested him and said that he had strep, but he never really ran a fever, last week, I don't remember exactly when, could have been whenever all those kids were over at our house, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Luke had said at one point he had a sore throat, but didn't act sick, you know, like, he's like, I have throat hurts, and I kind of looked at it, and I just thought,
maybe he's just tough enough, because I'm gonna tell you, if I'm sick, I'm just gonna act like I'm fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
but,
but there were a lot of kids, so
Yeah.
maybe they
I
probably
mean,
have
I'll probably
something
sick
around
yeah.
on Sunday.
but,
I'm telling you right now, we're going to Plainview tonight for the Wilder game. I look, about game time, it's gonna be 39, 37.
yeah, you get up north of Lubbock and it's.
I'm gonna tell you about Snyder Post, we're gonna start seeing that thermometer.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be chilly.
And here it's been like, I mean, it's cool because it's rainy, but it's not cold. You know, like, it's
Yeah.
very, very mild. But anyway, he's been on his antibiotics for 24 hours, hadn't run a fever. Leanne's going to work, so I have to keep him, so she's just gonna bring him to the office, he's gonna hang out with me for a while, till lunch, and then I'm gonna go.
I love how he says
He
swag.
said swag.
I love how he says swag. Wear anything. What if I just
Banana hammock. You wanna see it, or do you take my word for it?
I swear there's a star on it. Bought it at Jerry World.
He would put a star on a banana hammock.
What up, dog?
Hey, Cam.
It is the Hodgeback right here on 106.9 The Country Giant, rocking and rolling. Hey, don't forget to download, subscribe, rate, review. Get those, if you miss anything, especially Roby folks, if you want to catch the Lily Benson interview. What's this guy doing? It's not even his turn yet. What's this guy? Just kinda taking over.
Cam, it's
Oh, my bad.
Hey, don't worry. We're just joking. Hey, you're more than welcome to answer questions.
Yeah,
He can.
give it all
And,
up.
it's what I get for pace around during commercials, and my seat was not. My bad.
No, it's fine, but it is good stuff. You just saw those on camera. Whoa, it went from camera to Josh. We have that kind of technology. But we're not going anywhere, but it's time for Missy's back.
Yeah, Cameron, feel free to answer this question if you want.
Okay.
You just have to share a mic with Josh or come over here by me. But shout out to Mulligans, as you heard on the commercial break, they've always got all the deals. If you wear the swag, your college swag on the weekends, there's all kinds of specials. Also, I want to shout out their patio. They offer their patio up to lots of different events, but Christmas parties are coming. So call to reserve that. I've had multiple parties out there, so much fun. It is covered. If you're listening and worried about the elements, you won't have to worry about that.
Heated and cooled if needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just can't go wrong. So get on out to 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive. This weekend they did have a scramble. I don't know with all the rain. That's probably
Bring
going to
your
be
canoe.
Bring your
Yeah,
canoe.
that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
You have a golf cart? No, I have a canoe.
Yeah. Have a feeling that's going to be
Moved
postponed.
again.
But just follow them on Facebook. They're always posting socials on their socials and their specials. So follow them at Mulligan's Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. All right, question of this week. I want to know, what is your favorite, it could be any sport, tradition? Not like March Madness. I want specifics. Like at the UT game, we do this every time. You know, Tech throws tortillas. What is a specific sports tradition
Josh
that you
is,
love?
I'm gonna guess Josh. Last week I guessed on why he didn't like baseball, and I got it right. I think what Josh probably does, he is a Baylor fan, but I've got a feeling he's got one of those Fight Yell leader suits. And
You found me out.
And secretly, Josh does the midnight yell with his boys and
Called
Ollie.
you out.
Oh, yes,
Did I get that one right?
I've
Is that your favorite tradition?
always think men in onesies are the true men.
But yeah, not like a rivalry or some event, like an actual tradition at a game or a sporting event that you're like, man, I just really like that.
Well, okay, I've got it. Is it okay if I have more than one, or can I just?
I mean, you do every week, so.
Well, but I mean, I could rank them, or not rank them. I'll go first unless you know yours.
Oh, I know mine.
All right, go ahead.
My absolute favorite is the B1 flyover at what used to be the Globe Life ballpark in Arlington
But
on opening day.
okay, I was just saying, opening day B1 flower. Great call on the Veterans Day week tradition. Good call. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know.
It is pretty chilly.
I have not. Obviously, they're now in a dome, so it makes it a little less. I mean, I guess
I swear you can hear the
you
flyover.
can hear it.
You can hear the flyover.
They practice flying over my house sometimes. It's
No, hey, what would be bad?
can't hear anything.
Could you imagine if your job was to open the roof and you're going,
Don't get it done in time.
it's a busy day and opening day, you don't know where things are, and all of a sudden you're doing this number, and all of a sudden you hear, oh, it's not open. Hurry, hit the button. Start over. Can you bring it back
Bring it
around?
back around. Yeah, but honestly, I went to opening day at the old ballpark many times, and when they hit that the national anthem, and then the plane flies over, it's so loud you couldn't hear yourself yell, and
And that national anthem bring a little tear to the
yeah,
glass eye.
it's just
Yeah.
it gives you chills.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine, I'm gonna give you two, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm giving you two.
Shocking.
So I'm gonna give you two, and I'm gonna tell you why. One is, and it's because I'll never be able to do it, is getting the green jacket put on. Butler Cabin, former champion, putting the green jacket on the current champion. The other, and it's because I did get to do it, not at a very high level, but getting to cut the net. You win a play, like
Mhm.
fortunately at Roby, we won a number of playoff games. And when you won a playoff game, you went up and you cut the net. And I think it's in the book, it's actually one of the tokens or something, and Greeny actually ranks it a piece of net, cutting it at the Final Four. But cutting the net down is a cool tradition that you like. I don't know who thought, you know what? We won. What are we
Let's
gonna
take
do?
the net.
Yeah,
The net's cool. Let's go cut it down.
yeah, I know that is cool. I wouldn't
so-
have thought that.
So yeah, my two is the green jacket
Like
exchange,
actually putting.
where you
physically
get to
putting
put it on and you get to, wow. Because yes, Colonial has a jacket, the Travelers have a jacket, Arnie has a sweater, but the green jacket's pretty iconic. So mine would be the green jacket exchange at Augusta, and cutting down the net, I think is a pretty cool tradition.
Okay, so mine goes out to the Iowa Hawkeye Do y'all know what I'm gonna say?
Mhm.
Where
Waving at
they
the kids.
wave, oh my gosh, y'all, I just don't even, I mean, I'm a mom, no, a lot of y'all are dads in this room, but there is just something about those kids when, if you don't know, since 2017, I mean, when that stadium's full, 70,000 people, they all turn, players, coaches, fans, everybody, they do.
Opposing players too.
Yeah, everybody, all
Yeah.
70,000, whoever's there, they turn and they wave to the children at the hospital, and it is just, I mean, so special. And I was actually watching an interview the other day with one of the families, and they were just saying, like, y'all have no idea what that does for us, for our children. And then they actually had a kid captain that got to come on the field that he was well and was cancer free. And so then they actually, had him on the field, and it was just really special. And so that's what got me thinking about this. I was like, we need to talk about not the rivalries, because we love all of those, but the specifics of
But
some
I
of the
think
games.
traditions and rivalries are totally different because of that. I mean, rivalry, you're going to get it, and the irony, and we can talk to Cameron in a minute about, one of the biggest rivalries about to be reunited and re-engaged with the Texas A&M game and UT game. But when you think about the traditions, and honestly, and I got to be careful, I'm not going to say this, I'll talk about it later, but depending on if you go to the right school, pretty much all those D1 ones, even Baylor's got them. I know Baylor's got them, Tech's got them, UT, all those, they've got those traditions to where it does set you apart. And when this happens, you're going to do it. One, and you'll know this, Wiley's got a tradition that the band plays It Is Well with Our Soul at the end of every football game. And I don't know, was that?
They did that.
I mean, if you start thinking about all those traditions that happen, and even when I think you get them down into the high school level where those things matter to be a Badger or a Bulldog or whatever, or an Aggie or the Red Raider, or whoever it may be, is those traditions, you see that more probably at the college level. I'm sure there's some at the NFL stadiums, that there's probably some tradition. You see at the college basketball level, there's some that you don't sit down until the other team scores or something like that.
ACU, I mean, I was just at an ACU game, and we were standing until the men scored.
Yeah.
And so that was fun. I don't know if y'all have been out to
There-
Moody, but it's really fun.
There are actually a lot of them at other NFL teams. It seems like the ones in kind of the Northeast, I guess they've been around longer, but they do have different actual like traditions that are more college-like, I guess. But I don't know of any with the Cowboys, just off the top of my head.
Just, yeah.
Well, I mean, the obvious.
Our tradition is we don't buy curtains for the
Oh, well, yeah.
sunlit
You
window.
have the only football stadium in the world that has sun in your eye problems.
Yeah, it's not like you only have it on your
That's 'cause
visiting team.
You go north and south in football for a reason.
Yeah.
It's so the
Nobody
sun is
ever-
never in your
yeah.
eyes.
Running back coaches at any level, Pee-wee to the ultimate level, don't say, hey, bud, you get going east and west as fast as you can because that's the side.
You run out of bounds.
Yeah, you run out of it.
But with the college level, yes, there are at every single college. The ones that have the strongest ones are the ones that have had a continued culture of winning.
Yeah.
Because when you're not winning, no one cares.
What about just a good old fashioned tailgate? That's something that
Well, I
if
think
you've
that-
never been a part of, cause.
Well, Tech does that pretty well, even. when they're not
Well,
winning,
but I think the tailgate thing is more of a tradition a lot of places because you
Right.
can't, if you go to.
But
well,
Ole Miss at the
yeah.
Grove,
But if you
like
think
there's
about it,
some places.
Ole
like,
Miss is a big one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I
Yeah.
think that you could put that
But
in a
Raider
tradition.
Alley's a
Right.
big deal. I'm sure all
Evo
of them have
Boulevard,
them.
I mean, I'm just saying that to me is not the same everywhere.
Oh, it's
So-
definitely not the same
So
everywhere.
to me, that
Right.
does put it in
Well,
a
I think,
tradition.
but I think, and again, we'll hold that, we'll come back, we'll let Cameron answer this question as well. We'll be back, we'll kick off hour number 2 right after this. I think though,
You can have the seat
it's
now.
probably a lot of, hey,
Thanks,
it's probably
sorry,
a lot of
man.
places.
It's fine.
That was funny.
It's probably it's people tailgate everywhere. Yeah. Cameron's new favorite tradition is all male cheerleaders. Yeah, Already getting a fan base, Cameron. Appreciate you
could
tuning in.
definitely.
Who said that?
Cameron, Corey James. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're sitting, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, like, I just, obviously, like,
What-
you
what I
can't
was
compare
gonna-
Ole Miss tailgate to like even Tech or even UT.
That
Like,
was a
it's
good
like-
question.
It's like on a different atmosphere.
But what I was gonna say was, tailgating's going on everywhere. I mean, even ACU's doing it.
Right, to
Hardison
some level,
probably does it.
of course.
But some have a whole different atmosphere on
Yeah.
how they do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like football's being played everywhere on Saturday, but some people just do it better.
But the tradition of tailgating, to me, is just fun. Like,
Yeah.
who came up with that? Like, hey, let's just grill out, let's, drink and eat all the things. I mean, that to me is just,
Sometimes that's all people do and do.
right.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
mean,
go
they
to
don't
the
even
game.
go to the game, or they are watching the game from their tailgate.
A lot of people do
I
that
just think
because they
that's so
don't buy
fun.
the ticket. Like, I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
what sucks is I bet it's gonna be cold tomorrow or rainy. And one of the most electrifying places in college football tomorrow will be Lubbock, Texas.
Oh, well, Dion was talking about, I was watching the, post game, you
exactly
see about
what
the
you're
tortillas, he was like,
I'm
wait,
making-
tacos? He was like, tacos, and then he was like, oh, tortillas.
He's like, I'm gonna make him empty it up.
Yep,
I'm making him throw them all on the field.
yeah, it was so funny, but he was like, tacos? Oh, tortillas? I was like, oh my gosh. I would love to be at that game tomorrow. Yeah.
So where are we watching football tomorrow? So I'm not playing that. The problem is tomorrow, it's not a problem, it's a great thing. Is 11 o'clock, you've got Texas and Florida. At 2:30, you've got Georgia and Ole Miss. Go to need a TV. I don't know, like the Indiana-Michigan game, it's got some emphasis. I mean, Michigan's still Michigan, the Finnish national champions. Honestly, y'all don't want to probably hear this, that Army-North Texas game is probably gonna be a good one. And then at 3 o'clock, you got Tech in Colorado.
All day. It's gonna
And
be
then
so
tomorrow
good.
night, you've got Mississippi State's terrible. But you got Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, no, Oklahoma, Missouri. Well,
I think the Indiana-Michigan game will be good too. I think Indiana will monkey stomp them.
in my opinion, Indiana's got to destroy everybody, and if anything, barely lose to Ohio
Indiana
State.
doesn't suck, man. They're,
Yeah.
they're legit.
They are legit.
But if there was anything that they need to do, they need to run the table.
Alabama, LSU, 6:30, ABC, primetime.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. One of those teams that will give them their third.
Alabama, LSU is a playoff elimination.
Right, yeah.
BYU, Utah.
It's actually not supposed to rain over tomorrow, so,
Oh, really?
yeah, and the high is 67, so it's just gonna be cold and nice, and then back up.
Well, I'm not doing cart path only, so I'm not playing golf tomorrow. I mean, not that I probably don't need to walk it, but.
Okay, so be ready to answer the tradition question when we
I
come
already know.
back.
Already know.
And I'm telling you, from an NFL perspective, outside the Eagles Cowboys, those two games,
You missed it yesterday, you got to see Tyler's favorite song.
Oh, where? Oh, at the brunch?
Yeah.
what friends will play.
Yeah.
I know, I was in training yesterday, so I.
Hey, I tried to be quiet. I sat over there real nice, and they brought me up. I didn't hear anything. Yes or no?
Did you plug the Hodge pack 75 times?
He did about 2 or 3.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, I've heard it, nothing but good things, that it was really good, and yeah.
I would think you need to do something else there for next year. I don't know, maybe you just keep doing the same thing, but it's 2 years in a row with the same guy.
Yeah, but it's worked, so I don't know. They won't change it,
They'll just keep bringing him back.
as long as it works.
I don't know what you would do differently.
It's definitely better than it was a few years ago.
Oh, you didn't know, but you do know now. It is time for our Fat Matt football pick'em challenge. Our guest picker today, from Fat Matt, from serving our country, serving students on the school board at Wiley, and now literally taking on the nemesis of his favorite school, UT, and now going to Texas A&M as Corey James. We appreciate Corey tuning in, loyal listener. Cameron Wiley joining us this morning. You've already seen him briefly earlier. And so Cameron,
Yeah, my bad, man.
No.
I love the confidence. He's like, I have arrived.
Yeah, Greg's working on getting us a fourth mic, and Greg Austin is man. Don't forget, you can listen to Greg this afternoon, Texas Two-Step. Man, I'm gonna tell you real quick, plug for Greg. That dude is one of the hardest working Texas music artists, people as well. He does a great job, a lot of artists, and what he does for the station. So shout out to Greg Austin. But listen to him this afternoon. Greg is the man. But Cameron, appreciate you taking time this morning. Appreciate Matt coming on board and helping us learn how I'm not a very good picker on the games that we get.
That's why I'm here, brother. Here to help you out.
All right, well, normally go the opposite, you'll be fine. So Cameron, talk a little bit about, first of all, tell our folks a little bit. It is, Josh mentioned about the B1 flyover being a big tradition. Appreciate your service. You're out of it now, but still doing it in other ways. So talk about your time in the Air Force.
Well, I mean, I'm glad it's done. No, it was good, man. I was very blessed, very fortunate. You know, I got to, I joined in 2004, just retired back in September. And, looking back, I'm very grateful. I'm glad I stuck with it.
Did the 20 years fly by or it did?
Oh man, so fast. I mean, there was times I thought it would never end, but it was really cool. I got to do a lot of really awesome stuff that a lot of people haven't gotten to do. And
what was your role in the Air Force?
So I've done a number of different things. I was actually an aircraft mechanic by trade, and then I did recruiting for about 7 years. Worked in marketing, and speaking of sports, worked with the Cowboys and Rangers quite a bit as an Air Force person, which is really cool. Came to Dias and did some inspection, inspector general work, which is like it's just a very broad variety of stuff I've gotten to do throughout my career.
So now what is retirement at, how old are we?
38.
So retired at 38,
Yeah.
What does retirement at 38 look like?
Well, you'd think it would slow down, but it's actually sped up. So I don't know, in all my great wisdom, decided to go back to school like a dork, at 38 years old, and go get my master's degree. And
Well, you got time on your hands.
Yeah. But no, man, it's, the beauty of it is I don't have to rush. And I think that's been the best part of retirement is
Like rush for a fraternity or rush?
No, well, maybe both.
Can you imagine old school walking through, hey guys, let's go.
Yeah, right.
Go to the courtyard.
Everyone would kill that. Like, I would love to see it.
That would be a funny video, old school too, with Cameron. I'll go back to school. There we go.
We don't want the streaking scene.
It would have to definitely be just on radio. He's streaking, we swear.
Yeah.
Well, man, we do appreciate your service, and it's cool that you are going back. We talked a little bit about it the other day before our non-debate deal we did for Dayton Nursery.
Yep.
And how going back to school is different.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, and so anyway,
especially where I'm going, which is
for those that don't know, Cameron is a UT fan. His daughter's going to A&M, and he is joining his daughter Macy, right?
Yes.
At A&M. He's online doing the Yale leads at home like Josh. All right, so Misty had the question.
Yeah.
What's your tradition?
Man, so I was thinking about this. I got to agree. I mean, there's something about opening day with Texas Rangers that's something else. But I would say besides, like, if we're talking like at a home stadium, the every day on campus, the walk down Bevo Boulevard is pretty awesome. But I think overall my favorite has to be Red River Rivalry, man. I mean, it's not, I know you said the rivalry game, but it's everything before the game, at the State Fair, the Cotton Bowl, the original Cotton Bowl, man. That is
and I think she did wanted to eliminate, but I think the split of the stands is the tradition.
Yep.
It's not so much the rivalry game, but you go here and it's going to be burnt orange that way and it's going to be maroon this way. I could see that.
Yep.
That could be being big as well. So,
And I hate to say it, but I mean, I spent 3 days down in College Station for orientation, and man, there's tradition. When they talk about a cult, I mean, it's true. Even as master degrees, as graduate students in class, they are doing traditions in the class. So, I mean, I don't think you can really compare to
No.
what happens down
Yeah,
at college.
A&M does it right. They
Yeah.
really do.
all right, well, let's see if the education with the 2 degrees, if he's sleep deprived from trying to get that degree, affects his picking. Josh, you got 3 high school games here, and
Yeah, we usually don't dive real deep into high school, but all 3 of these games have district championship on the line, and this first one here is a powerhouse match.
yeah, so Stanford and Holly is game number 1. Coach Hutch back and has got the Bulldogs rolling. Just a few years ago, I remember people saying in Stanford, hey, we've got a group that's coming, it's gonna be pretty good. They had a couple of coaching changes, and it's like I've said all along, Hutch doesn't come back to coach just to coach, to rebuild a program. A guy that was there, won 2 state championships, went to Monterey, and is back. And I love Mitch Abels, and I think it's going to be a great game. I'm curious where they're going to have to play this, because Holly has a field that rain affects, and I'm curious. And I may text Mitch here in a minute, or some of our folks from Holly. They may be having to move this game, because if that grass is going to be the thing, and Holly's not going to say, you know what, we'll just go to Stanford. That's not going to happen. But I've got the Bulldogs winning this one.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
Cool, man. You got to go Bearcat Pride, baby.
There you
Got to
go.
go Bearcat
Yeah.
Pride.
Mitch and them do a great job. This was a tough one.
It's a very tough pick, and you throw a curveball there, because I'm going Holly just because they're at home. If it goes neutral site, I might have to change my opinion, but I'm going to stick with it with Holly.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Holly at home, but still Holly.
Got to take down the champs, man.
There you go. Holly down. Again, you're exactly right, trying to keep their district streak alive. Going to the bowl, first time for the Indians, not necessarily, they've probably been there before, but as a district game, Coach Russell Lucas got the Mustangs rolling. It's going to be in the bowl. Could be chilly, could be whatever. I've got the Mustangs winning this, and Coach Lucas, district champs, along with Mustangs.
I'm homer picking Jim Ned.
I've got the Mustangs as well.
Yeah, man. I gotta go with our neighbors down south, man. Got to go Jim Ned.
All right, you got them. This next one, Wiley Plainview, I was telling them, it's going to be like 30-something degrees when we get up there. Thank God we're in the booth. I don't think it's a real big booth, but Andy and I will be in the booth. It's one of those, do you sit players and all those things? I think you go find a way to win, make sure you get it done, go into the playoffs right. Wiley's, even if they were to have a hiccup, because the head-to-head with Memorial would have the district championship, because I don't think Memorial is going to lose the legacy, but I've got Wiley.
Oh, I mean, yes. I feel like I'm a little biased here, but yeah, you got to go Bulldogs, man.
Yeah, I
All the
think
way.
we're all on the same page on this one.
Yeah.
Bulldogs.
All right, so this is the first one of I think, a playoff elimination game. I think Georgia still maybe could with 2 losses, but I think it depends. Ole Miss, tough place to play. I want to pick Lane Kiffin. I want to pick the Ole Miss Rebels, but I'm still I still want to try to get back in this thing of not being the worst picker in America. And I'm hoping Carson Beck and them figure it out, but I've got Georgia.
Man, this is the one that I think I'm going to go against the grain and pick the underdog. I'm going to go Ole Miss at home. I think they'll upset Georgia. Georgia their offense, man, has not been very good. Their defense, top defense in the country.
But that defense, I'm going Georgia.
So who'd you go with?
Ole Miss.
I like it. I like the gamble. I mean, I don't know how much of a gamble it is. If Dart will play, Dart was one of those guys we thought would be a Heisman Trophy guy, and he's kind of faded. He could get back in the race with big games.
Is this at night? Because I know Lane Kiffin was talking smack about them not getting enough home games.
No.
Or nighttime games. Nighttime, yeah.
It's an early game, I believe. But
Oh.
I do have Georgia.
But no, because he made his point. He said, "Shocker, LSU's got to go down."
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Colorado at Tech. We talked about this. This is one that I thought about. If any of my Red Raider friends are listening, if you have an extra ticket, I'm in. With LSU and Alabama playing, it eliminated a college game day, but big noon kickoff is going to be there, my understanding, from Fox.
Yep.
Josh, who do you got?
Man, I've got Colorado, but It would not surprise me at all if Tech were able to pull it out, but I'm going Prime.
Yeah, this is tough for me, but I've got to go Prime. I feel like I'm a realist, and I think they are ready for Tech, and Dion wants to come in. He's like, bring on the tortillas. I don't know. I feel like they've got the edge.
You got the Buffaloes?
I feel like as a lifelong Texas fan and current Aggie, I cannot, in my own wisdom, ever root for Texas Tech. So prime time ain't hard to find, baby.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Coach McGuire, you saw the emotion in his voice last week after they beat Tech. Big emotional interview. I wanted to pick Tech for the upset, but I think I'm picking Colorado for a little bit of combination. One, I think they've got the best athlete in the country, Travis Hunter.
Yep.
Shadur is no slouch, and
Their defense is a lot better.
and Warren Sapp is on staff there. I want to see still a chance for Dion to be in the college football playoffs. Some people don't like that,
I love it.
but I got Colorado. Alabama, LSU game day tomorrow. Again, shout out to Coach Kirk Herbstreit on the passing of Ben. I know it'll be tough. A lot of emotions going through, but Alabama, LSU, another playoff elimination game for both of these teams. Both can still be in the chance at 2 losses. I don't think either one of them are good enough or deserve a 3-loss getting in. Who do you got, Misty?
Ooh, tough. I'm going to go Bama.
Josh?
Bama.
Gotta go Crimson Tide, man.
I'm Alabama too. I like DeBoer, and sometimes I don't know why, but just Brian Kelly rubs me wrong.
Yeah,
BYU, Utah, BYU trying to stick at undefeated, still keep the Big 12 hope alive, not only for the championship, but also to even, obviously get into the college football playoff. I've got BYU.
I've also got BYU.
BYU.
yeah, I gotta go Cougars, man. I think I love the story with them this year.
I think if rushing was playing, Utah would have a chance. Utah struggling at the end. I've got BYU. All right, these three, the Cowboy-Eagles game, but the Steelers-Commander game and the Lions-Texans game. If somebody needs something to prove, it's going to be the Lions and the Texans game. Not the Lions, obviously the Texans. But Steelers-Commanders, I've got the Commanders right now circled because they're at home, but I really am wondering, will Mike Tomlin, will Russell Wilson out-coach and outplay Jalen? I'm going to switch it before y'all make your picks. I'm making my switch, and I'm going Pittsburgh over the Commanders. Josh, who you got?
I've got the Commanders, but Russell Wilson actually has done something with the Steelers that I did not expect. So I don't think you're way off.
I'm going to pick the Commanders.
All right.
I gotta go Commanders too, man. They are just on fire right now, and I don't see Jaden Daniels stopping.
Yeah, and they're finding ways to win. They're able to run the football, but I got the Steelers. Lions, Texans, I wrote this down here. Texans need this game bad. Lone win versus anybody good has been the Bills week 5. They need a win against somebody good. Their division's terrible, but if they're really going to move on, they've lost Diggs. If anybody needed somebody, they didn't make a lot of moves. Nico Collins hitting back. I think they're struggling, and I think the Lions may be, even though they're not undefeated, maybe the best team in the NFL, not the NFC. The NFL, I've got the Lions.
I've also got the Lions, and I completely agree. They are right now the best team in the NFL.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a Detroit transplant now that Dallas is garbage, and I love me some Dan Campbell, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dan Campbell. I think, a guy that nobody's talking about, and everybody's bringing the attention to Lamar Jackson, who probably cemented his 3rd MVP last night, the way he played. But I'm going to tell you right now, a guy that's playing really well is Jared Goff.
Dude, I heard a stat that he has not thrown an incomplete pass in like 7 games.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
like,
unreal.
yeah, he is on fire. And when Gibbs has a hard time getting in, because Montgomery's good, but they are so loaded from a receiving standpoint, a weapon standpoint. I've got the Lions. All right, Eagles, Cowboys. You can hear it right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. 3:25 kickoff. The Cowboys are now Dakless. It looks like he's going to be on the IR for at least 4 games and possibly the rest. Trey Lance, no Lance in sight. It looks like Rush is going to be starting. More confidence. They've probably going off a year's past where they've won with Rush. I wanted to put the Cowboys. I'm going to cheer for the Cowboys. Jerry says he's got confidence. I mean, we went out and got great great trade deal, with, Jonathan Mingo Slice.
Statistically, like the second worst receiver in football.
His parents don't have him on his fantasy.
And we gave up, what, a 4th-round pick?
Yes,
Yeah.
a 4th-round pick for a guy that nobody knows.
He's gotten one reception
yeah.
in 1 yard.
So I've got the Eagles winning. I hope I get it wrong. Does anybody not have the Eagles?
I think the Eagles win
All right.
big.
All right, so as a Cowboys fan, I'm gonna throw out this question to you, then we'll go to break and, all that. With three wins, with a lot of games left that on the schedule that look very losable.
Yeah, exactly. Let's lose out.
So do you want competitive, or
No.
how will you handle the rest of the season?
I want competitive, but I'm realistic and it's not going anywhere, so, I mean, I'm not saying
How much drama,
towel throwing, but
what would it look like? And Cooper came in and had some struggles last week against the Falcons, who I think is a pretty good football team. What if Cooper goes on the run that he did the last time Dak got hurt?
I don't really want him to, and I don't think it's capable. Because Dak is not coming back this year. That's not official, but he has an avulsion, which is something that he doesn't need to play again until that's completely healed, so there's no reason to try to rush that back.
Especially if you're 3-50.
Right, and so if he's not gonna be able to come in and play, and not that he was playing well anyway, but then there's no chance to go anywhere, so just let it ride.
I think the reality is, man, like Dallas is just entering, I feel like a rebuild next few years. I don't think this is something that you just tank the year. You get a draft pick that you just gave up to.
Well, and that's the thing. We are not just one Mingo away from a playoff spot.
Yeah, man, we are. I think we're like 2 or 3 years.
Maybe the Mingo ate your baby. But anyway, that's the picks for this week. Again, our Fat Mac Pick'em Challenge. Get your picks in. You still have time. Did I pick anybody? Did I miss anybody?
No,
Okay.
I missed writing it down.
Cameron, appreciate you again.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your service and thank you for what you do in the community. And so when we come back, we'll start looking at the NFL. It is crazy. It is wild. How many coaching jobs are going to be open when it's all said and done? 2 are already open. We'll be back right after this.
Did you pick Alabama?
I did.
Okay.
Let's get a quick pick. I'm giving you this because your arm
Okay.
is long. We're gonna do it this way. Everybody get in, because I know Josh has to go.
Yeah, I was, for some reason, I just like went mental break for a second, didn't write down what
Oh,
y'all
it's
picked.
okay.
So,
Get in, where do you wanna be? Okay. Perfect. See, it's
Awesome.
great angle.
have a good day.
Hey, man,
Good to
you
see
too.
you.
Thank
See
you
ya.
so much for coming in.
Thank y'all.
All right,
Appreciate
good
it.
to see ya.
Yeah, you
All
too.
right, take care. I mean, you could have stayed, but I said you had stuff to do.
What y'all doing next?
We did. Got a couple of segments. We're just gonna, I don't really know what we're talking about.
NFL stuff.
You want, I mean, stay if you want. Want to do another segment?
Okay, I will, so let me reach out to the office and tell them that,
Now I'm taking.
can you do me a favor? I'm
Yes.
Text me what you just said.
Because the show will go till 9, but like really the last like 5-7 minutes is just
Get
small
somebody to
talk.
look at it.
But we'll probably, I think we might talk about Jason Kelsey. Did you see
Oh, yeah.
him lose his mind? and bring his
Deservedly
own?
so.
I know, right?
He's lucky he didn't get punched.
I know.
No, I mean, if you've got something, that's what we're here for. If there's
Do you think
something we need to have.
you would have reacted that way, or do you think you would have been able to be silent? Like, what do you think you would have done in that moment? Like, honestly.
I think
But
I probably
Let's
would have.
talk Travis, or not Travis Kelsey. You want to talk Jason Kelsey? Because he knows about that too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're gonna go into our NFL part, because we've worked out pretty well, we've gone to 8:30. We're gonna go to our NFL talk, which is, we've already touched on the Dak stuff.
MVP, we have that on there, which I think we all know how that's trending right now.
McCaffrey's coming back. I think one of the things that's not being talked about enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 teams with 2 wins. So that means if you think about it, if nothing changes, in all of them, I'm sure it can't because they'll have division games, division games. You could finish, a number of you could finish 2 and whatever. Most of the time, if you finish 2 and 15, you're getting the first or second pick. You could finish in that bunch and not, if it ended today, depending on where you fall, you're not picking till 8th or 9th. And how good are you making your team that's 2 and 15 with the 8th or 9th pick, as opposed to that game changer that should be early? I mean, it reminds me of some of the districts in the state, like in football and stuff. There's a lot of bad football teams right now.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to talk about the coach thing is because Coach Mike McCarthy is not on a contract. People are going to want to change and all these things, but are there that many upgrades, coaching-wise?
Bill, dude.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah.
look, we're going to go through that. We're going to go. All right, we're back. Welcome back to the Hodgepodge, Sports Live and everything in between. We're rocking and rolling. Cameron, Josh had to go get ready for first take. No, I'm just kidding. That's what they say. That's what they say on Unsportsmanlike, like when Chris Canty leaves or somebody leaves, that they're like, yeah, Canty went over to go work on Get Up real quick. No, but Josh had to go and get to the office. But very fitting with that song coming back. You heard that's portions of Mark Powell's song of What I Do. One thing you got coming up with What I Do, Mark Powell and Outlaws and Legends next Friday, the 15th. They were announcing the lineup for the 2025 Outlaws and Legends. So be sure to be on the lookout for that on their socials. They had their singer-songwriter storytellers last night. And again, so just check that out. Outlaws and Legends will be coming soon with their artist lineup next Friday. November is here. And again, mentioned Cameron stuck around, is going to hang out with us. The guy, again, you mentioned, we're sports people, and it's easy to do. In the NFL, so we talked, the Cowboys lose last week to an Atlanta Falcons team that I think, if they keep rolling, could be a challenge to the Lions. Their defense is playing well. They've got Kirk Cousins. I've said my out on a limb, long shot comment was that the Falcons would be this year's Matt Stafford and Tom Brady. New quarterback, new team, first year Super Bowl. I mean, I know that's a big gamble, but they've got as much of a chance. Yes, the Lions are good, but I don't think the Lions separation from Lions to Falcons. Let me ask you this. Who do you think is the second best team in the NFC?
That's a good question.
Let me give you the people that are leading their division. Commanders, they're leading it at 7-2. Eagles are 6-2. Vikings 6-2. We've seen that they've struggled. Packers are kind of on the way back. Falcons are 6-3, and Arizona 5-4. Rams 5-4. Looks like the 49ers may be getting Christian McCaffrey back, so that could maybe change their world. Who is the biggest threat? I think it is the Falcons or the Eagles that are probably the biggest threat to the Lions, but I don't think that gap is so huge that it can't be done.
I think right now you got to say Washington. I think they are on fire right now. Jaden Daniels is just clicking on all cylinders, offensively, defensively. I think currently, if we're talking about today, you got to go Detroit 1, Washington 2. That could change this weekend. I don't know. That rookie thing could come up and they'll hit a downhill. I don't know. But right now, it's hard to argue against Washington and what Jaden Daniels is doing.
Yeah, no, I actually like that take, but I don't really like the 49ers, but I do like their team, and so we'll see what happens when he comes back in as well. I think obviously Christian's amazing, and so that could definitely change, in my opinion.
Again, I've watched a lot of different things during the week, and one is, ESPN and Sportsmanlike and other things, and that they talk about the Nick Sirianni situation. Is he the problem? But the Eagles are starting to pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're the last team that even had a chance the closest chance to dethrone the Chiefs in the Super Bowl they played. The Chiefs did. So I just think it's going to be interesting. So coaching, I'm going to go through these. We mentioned there are 9 teams with only 2 wins. And I'm going to go through these. We've already got 2 coaching jobs open. The Jets, and this week, the Saints. Saints is not a good job. I'm going to go through. Bills, they're not changing. Jets is already open. McDaniel, I don't think is going anywhere. Gerard Mayo's just got to beat the New England. Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. Harbaugh's not going anywhere. I think Stefanski in Cleveland, I think they like him. They gave him a terrible situation with Deshaun. If he goes anywhere, I think it's going to be his choice. Is Zach Taylor, should he be on the hot seat in Cincinnati?
Oh, man.
Yeah, they have 4 wins. Lost another close one last night. They've had Baltimore beaten both times.
They're just right there. It's just like, I mean, I was talking to Josh about this earlier. I feel like they're like the Baylor of the NFL. Like there have just been a few plays. If they would have gone the other way, then they won.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
I heard Ryan Clark today say he thought he could lose his job.
Really? I don't know. I just feel like they've been so close in so many games. It's not like they're getting just blown out. And last night, I mean, I did not see the Ravens coming back and doing that. And so I really thought that they had them, but I don't know.
I actually fell asleep and woke up and saw that they lost.
Yeah, I mean, did y'all think that the Ravens were going to come back?
I mean, it was a good game. Here's my thing: is like you look at Cincinnati in the past, like until he came on, really, and they got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all that. Like,
And they're doing this without T. Higgins.
yeah, man. I mean,
True.
they were dumpster fire for decades, and I know they're a 500, maybe a little less right now, but they're on average a 500 team. But that's a lot better than they have been historically. And I
You gotta
think
remember when Marvin
That's
Lewis
true.
was there, they would go to the playoffs every year and never win. Go to the playoffs with Andy Dalton, not win. But anyway, that's one. In the AFC West, Reed's not going anywhere. Harbaugh's not going anywhere. Sean Payton's not going anywhere. I think Antonio Pierce is probably, even though he's in year 1 of the full year, that job could be open. Washington's not changing. Nick Sirianni, ironically, if things don't work out, he probably could. I think Brian Daboll's a good coach. I think they said the family there said they're keeping him. Mike McCarthy, that's my whole point. Do you keep Mike McCarthy?
no.
No.
Who do you upgrade and who do you try to go get? You mentioned Bill Belichick. Can Bill? We've seen the high-profile coaches, Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells, have a hard time with Jerry Jones. Can Jerry Jones give Belichick? Because if I'm Belichick, I'm not going to go to the Saints, where I don't have a whole lot of options. This coming quarterback draft is not what we've seen this year. You have a ton of quarterbacks that have been drafted and that are playing. The only one that I believe that, and I'll check, that hadn't played is Michael Penix Jr. And the reason Michael Penix Jr. ain't playing is because Kirk Cousins is in front of him. It's not like the Saints, and nothing against Derek Carr. He's not the guy. And I know Bill Belichick is like Tom Brady. I need to go somewhere I can win now because I'm 70 plus years old. I'm not 46 and all those things. So, okay, could Bill fit there?
Go ahead.
Would he want to fit there? I mean, because we're talking about a rebuild. So yeah, you're not getting the younger Bill. Like if I'm Bill, I'm like, yeah, you're America's team, but they're a rolling dumpster fire. So does Bill even want to go there?
But I think from a roster standpoint, Mike is not playing. Lawrence isn't playing. Zach Martin's not been healthy. I don't think we're a Mingo away from being good, but I don't think it's the gap that people think. You needed a running back. You didn't go do that. If you can bring a running back on board, I think you become a better football team. I don't think you're that far off for being good. Another guy, Brandon Cooks, hadn't been here. I mean, there's some weapons that aren't on the field for Dak. And honestly, since Dak signed the contract on that Sunday before the Browns, it's been a struggle. I think they're closer than people think, but I don't think it's I don't think it's exactly what Dak's house is, where you demolish it and rebuild. I think there's a wing you need to work on, not the whole house.
See, and I disagree. I feel like there's multiple wings. And so for me, if I'm Bill, I mean, because we know how Jerry is. He controls everything. So why do you want to put yourself in that position? Because, yeah, we're going all in. we haven't done crap. So we're not going all in. So if I'm Bill, I'm like, go somewhere else where maybe they will go all in.
I feel like as a current business student right now, I'm going to give a business perspective here. Like you were saying, man, at the end of the day, Dallas has so much money invested in Micah and CeeDee Lamb and Dak, right?
Well, they don't
And so-
have it in Micah yet because they haven't signed him.
but they're gonna
All these
scrap
people
together.
that are doing
Yeah,
nothing.
man. And so you've got your key players, at least offensively, pretty much locked down. But wouldn't it be so Cowboy-esque and such a circus to bring in Bill Belichick and have Jerry Jones there? I mean, that's just so Dallas Cowboy world. It would just make sense from a marketing
It
standpoint.
would. No, it absolutely would.
Because from a team that you want to come in, now we're going to see what Sean Payton can do with Bo Nix. They're 5-4. They're doing fine. But you start looking at, the best job that I think that's going to come open is going to be the Bears job. It's going to be somebody that has a franchise quarterback that hopefully you can get going in the right direction. You have a tradition franchise that you could come be the hero. I mean, you think about it. Belichick goes to the Bears. And you talk about a tradition and a franchise and a tradition of a organization. To me, that's going to be possibly the best job that opens. The Cowboys' job is the most lucrative job that's going to open. But is it going to be one where I can come in, if you've been used to running your organization, Misty, whether it's a bank or wherever it's at, if you've been the one that have bought the groceries, made the meal, hired the cooks, all the things, and then you go to a place where now you're, for better or not, you're taking orders for somebody else. Yeah, Belichick always had a boss in Robert Kraft. But for the most part, when it came to stuff about football, Bill ran the show. We know the show doesn't get ran. Jerry's the only owner that interviews with the media before anybody else does. On his way out, on his way to the chopper, he's getting caught. And then on Monday, he's being fake Jerry. He's not, but fake Jerry on the ticket, but he's getting interviewed by the fan. Nobody else does that.
Everything you are saying is 100% accurate. But I still think for a year or two, you just bring him in and you sell
Roll the
tickets,
dice.
man.
I mean, if
Well,
we
we-
had a healthy, all of the players that you listed earlier, yeah, if they were all healthy, I mean, let's be real, we've been Dak-less for longer than a week. So, I mean, yeah, he's been there, but he has not been producing. So I would argue that. I know you may argue against me, but Dak hasn't been doing jack. So he can, as far as I'm concerned, we could do better in that regard too.
Heck, Jerry doing interviews first may even make Bill happier because he hates doing interviews.
Exactly. It
But
could be
is he?
love.
But is he? Because he's a regular ManningCast guy. He appears on McAfee. He is in commercials. We're starting to see like Bill found out freedom, like, there's probably, what are some things that you couldn't do in the military that you're doing now? Like, is there from like you didn't have to worry about the crew cut, but like the
Facial hair.
Facial hair. Yeah.
so now you cut this, boom. That may be what Belichick feels like. So is he enjoying the media side enough to where he's like, you know what? I'm making pretty good coin here with no pressure, criticizing. Because now of the two, I think Saban's done.
Yeah.
I think Belichick may have that itch to want to internally prove I can win somewhere else without Tom Brady.
Right. I totally agree with that.
I think that is something that I can go do that, because the truth is he was part of the mind of some of the Giants Super Bowls with Bill Parcells. He is that guy. And so, but I just wonder if he wants to do. Now, the other thing, until we'll go to commercial, when we come back, we're going to finish. I'm going to give my thought on Jerry and Bill. And then there was an incident involving a Kelsey, and it wasn't a Taylor Swift concert. We'll be back right after this.
I mean, if Bill came, his girlfriend could be one of our cheerleaders.
Yeah, she's what,
That could be
28?
that could be a cute little duo, coach and
I want to know.
cheerleader.
I was trying to look.
I mean, I would love it for the drama, but
All right, so Jerry's.
Jerry, let's be real, until Jerry just goes away, I mean, we're not going all in, and he's calling the shots.
I mean, that's,
So, I mean, we know this as Cowboys
at the end of
fans.
the day, that's,
Yeah,
you gotta get rid of him.
so I just don't know if Bill, with all the freedom that he had at the past organization, could he come in and let Jerry run the show. I don't know, but then again, you are in your 70s now. Maybe you're like,
No, Jerry, oh, Bill.
Bill. But now, maybe to him, he's like, I'm retired. I'll do this for a couple of years. It'll be fun. And then I don't care anymore. Like, 'cause I think we do get to a point in our careers where when we are that age, you don't care if somebody, granted, this is different because Jerry is older, but you wouldn't care if somebody younger or really older was telling you what to do when you're 70.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of on like a different wavelength at that point, maybe. I don't know. Jerry's the worst.
He's the
I mean, he is
Yeah.
the worst.
But he's the all right. He's
In
a
terms of letting go of his power and letting other people make
But
decisions.
I think he's a normal.
He's a business guy.
He
He's
is
a
a
normal.
business,
He's
right.
a normal head honcho business guy.
Right.
Yep.
But let your coaches do what they can do.
Got trash can?
Yeah, keep going, go past the bathroom door on the left, keep going right past that door. To the left, right there. So, I don't know, it would be interesting. I mean, at this point, let's give it a shot. Nothing else is working.
Might as well.
Because Mike McCarthy is not the one. He doesn't know how to call. He's not great with time management. I will say he's gotten better, I think, with time management.
Well, he had his shot. I
He-
mean, he had like the last 2-3 years where
But I'm like, you've had your time, it's time to move on. McCarthy.
See, there's not a lot of 12-win people. That
No, I know, but I mean, I don't know. It's like, some of his play calling is crazy.
what's up, dude?
Hey, JB,
What's up, man?
how are you?
I'm survived. I'm alive.
Well, that's good.
Oh, goodness. So is Anson gonna make the playoffs?
They should.
In theory.
Oh yeah, they're 3-2. They're good. Where is something on this Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce thing?
I mean, I'm pretty familiar
I was
with
gonna say, we
it.
definitely know it.
So I asked Tony Smith about the latest on, building that, starting that construction. He said there's 2 Taylor Electric poles gotta be moved. I guess they were out there looking at it.
Where?
They're at
The new ag
tennis court
facility.
where-
Oh yeah, they're working on it.
They've broken ground. It's already,
have they
I think we
really-
had guys out there talking to somebody a week or 2 ago.
they're moving dirt. Started
Well,
moving
good.
dirt last week.
Woo. And I guess they're leaving that tennis house, is what Cody
Yeah,
said.
it's turned into the golf place, the golf shack.
Well, good. Repurpose.
They're building a golf shack?
Well, the old tennis facility is
They're
gonna
gonna-
go to golf,
Nice.
so we're trying to have to golf.
Good for them.
All right, Cameron, Misty, we're gonna talk, I'm gonna bring up the Jerry Jones deal. One thing about why I think Bill would be a good thing, and my point is, he's 82, if he really wants to win a Super Bowl, not that the life expectancy of people can't be older, but even at 82, you're probably your own house money. And
Oh, you're good, JB. Sit down, sit down.
just swing it, well, no, you're not on camera, you're not on camera.
Oh, okay.
I'll move. Like a face for radio.
Hey, look and see
I
how-
forgot it's Friday.
It's right.
I gotta ask my wife every day, what is today? How's your girl doing?
It's good, man.
72.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Liking it?
72.
She loves it.
Laid up?
She loves it.
We are bringing the action to you. Again, welcome to the Hodgepodge Sports Life and everything in between. Right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. We are brought to you by Lytle Land and Cattle. Make sure you get out to Lytle Land and Cattle for some great food. You order your Hodgepodge Tub. You heard it right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. We're talking about the NFL and coaching moves. And again, I go back and it's kind of crazy that there are 9 2-win teams, a lot of franchises, a lot of teams struggling at 2 and 9. Of course, the Cowboys struggling at 3 and 6. But anyway, so we were talking about Belichick, and we're talking about Belichick possibly being a good fit for the Cowboys. My thought is, in how far are we removed? How many pieces? You said we got a couple of wings. I definitely don't think it's a destroy your house like Dak is doing now. But to me, I do think the Super Bowl window is closing. I don't think it's shuttered, closed, like slammed down. Now, right now it is. I mean, the moment this year's gone. CeeDee Lamb is one of the best in the league. Statistically, Dak is still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Right now, no, it's kind of like the golfer that's in a stroke. But could some of those golfers still win a major? Yes. Whoop, good. Thought I just did something wrong. Well, still in dead air, so we're good. I think the reason Belichick might be a good hire right now is because if you can make things work, Jerry knows. Jerry's 82, and you mentioned that Bill, they got a 10-year difference. Both have something to prove. And now maybe the time to figure it out is bring Bill on. You can't argue that Jerry, from a business mind, there's not one better. The other teams in the league have more money. Owners in the league have more money. Players have more money. And one of the biggest reasons is Jerry Jones. Right? From TV deals to put Pepsi and all these different things, advertising and all that, eyes are huge. We've got two terrible teams going to Germany to play a football game on Sunday. And a lot of that, Jerry Jones. So if you could put businessman Jerry and shave a little bit and put great, we can't deny the football mind of Bill Belichick, and let them happen, I am for it. And
Must
I bet
see TV, man.
I agree.
But Jerry has to relinquish control. That's my point. Would he do that? Or is that another wasted coaching hire? Jerry has to relinquish control. Does he give Bill control?
So if he doesn't, is any coaching hire going to be a waste, or is there someone out there that you think, maybe somebody that's coaching now, a Stefanski guy who's had success? And again, if Baker just stays seated and Case keeps playing, Baker's probably still a Brown. Because Baker had the Browns, and again, I like Baker Mayfield.
I do too.
I know some people don't because he went to Tech, and my buddy Grant Cunningham isn't a fan because he went from Tech to Oklahoma. But he was really close to having the Browns beating the Chiefs in that playoff game. But instead, he came back early the next year, being hurt. Case played one game against the Broncos. They won. Let Case get Baker healthy, but I think it was almost like Baker was afraid he was going to be the next Carson Wentz, and Case would be Nick Foles, and whatever might happen. My point is, the window, there's not that many coaches out there. Coach Johnson, offensive coordinator at Detroit, had every opportunity to go be wherever he wanted to go. And he said, you know what? I think I'm better off staying here than going to a place that may not be a good fit. So to answer yours, if nothing's going to change, and with what Mike's done with the roster that he's done this with, 3 straight 12-win seasons, this one's not going to happen. Is a change even necessary?
I think you have to. I mean, just for your fan base, just to show that you're doing something, because they haven't done anything. I feel like you have to do.
Yeah, other than Mingo, that was nothing. Yeah.
That was nothing.
But see, I'm gonna disagree. To me, you can change a coach, but until you decide how you're going to buy your groceries, doesn't really matter.
So you would keep Mike for next season?
I would, if there's no one out there different that's going to be an upgrade, unless you think that, I don't know who that'd be. We're seeing Lincoln Riley. He's having a hard time winning at USC, and he was the hot commodity just a year ago because he had all these Heisman trophies, elevated offensive play, but now he's at USC and barely above 500. I don't know who's out there. Can this Johnson guy come in and be the guy and still understand I'm just going to be the head coach and not have to do all the other things? Maybe. But is there really, because it's honestly, it's the same thing with Dak. All the people that want to get rid of Dak, we need a new quarterback, go. Who do you upgrade to? Because the people that are upgrades are on teams that aren't going anywhere.
Shador, bring Deion Sanders with him.
No
He can be
kidding.
the head coach.
And Shador,
Love it. Would love to see it.
and you want to talk about must-see TV.
Yeah.
The bigger must-see TV would be to bring Shador.
And Deion. Let Deion be the
Well,
head coach.
Deion, hey,
Yes.
Deion said in an interview and I believe it was on RG3's podcast, that he wasn't really wanting to go coach in the NFL because he didn't want to go coach and teach, deal with the men that are in the league. Now, you want to talk must-see TV? This would be a good Misty's question. You draft Shadur, and you find a way to talk in his Aflac buddy, Nick Saban, to come coach Cowboys.
I mean,
Put them both on. We'll take both.
I mean,
We'll take
just
them both. Saban and
all that.
Sanders, let's do it.
Here's the thing, like we're at a point now where like Jerry has taken so much heat, and I know he has in the past, but like people are just pointing the finger at him all day long. And so I feel like if a smart business move is bring in Bill for a year, let that be a circus. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then it's a circus.
At least it's
But
something,
it
to your
pulls,
point.
it puts the optics back on away from Jerry. It sells the tickets, and
But it's not going to matter on selling tickets because Jerry, this week, Philadelphia come to town, there'll be a ton of Philadelphia people go watch the game. There's still enough people outside from the fan base that aren't Cowboy fans that go to the game. There's still plenty of Cowboy fans that are going to be there. That's not going to be a problem for tickets. They're going to sell tickets. They would sell tickets at 1 and 16 because people are that crazy about the Cowboys.
that's why Jerry will never go.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why.
That's the problem.
And that's why bringing him in takes it off Jerry because it won't take it off Jerry. If wins don't start going in the right column and in a way where the product on the field is better, they're going to watch like a train wreck, but they're still going to blame the driver, which is Jerry, on why the wreck is happening.
So right now, out of, let's say, McCarthy, we're throwing it out there. Dion or Bill Belichick, who would you have today being the coach of the Dallas Cowboys? And I'm going to ask you the same question, Cam, so get ready. Today. Like, you're taking over today,
If I said one of those two are replacing McCarthy,
or you can keep McCarthy. What are you going to do? Then maybe you're not so confident in McCarthy like you were.
no, I'm fine with McCarthy, Steve, because I don't think he's the issue. But if
Okay.
you're asking me of those two to replace, I'm going to take
I'm
Belichick.
saying all three.
I'm taking Belichick over Dion. If I were ranking them,
But I thought you were fine with keeping
I
McCarthy.
am fine with
You can
McCarthy.
choose that too.
I'm okay with McCarthy's
keep it.
take. He's won 12 games in 3 years. This year, every part of and Lauren, who's listening, said she loved the analogy of the Dak reference of tearing it down. So basically, it all needs to start. There's a lot of issues, and we just all suck right now. But my point is, he's got a lot of things happening wrong.
But you don't have to replace him, is my point, in my
I,
question.
I'm fine with that.
So you're gonna keep McCarthy?
I'm fine with that.
You know, now that we brought Dion into this conversation,
I knew it.
how fun would that be?
I know.
Having Deion Sanders and him and Jerry have a great relationship at leading the Cowboys. That would be, they could be 1-16, and I'd still watch that.
Yeah, so you're going Sanders?
Yeah, why not?
I think so too.
Which means though, we got 3 minutes to end the show. What do you want as a Cowboy fan? Because, and again, I'm going to pull a Jerry right here. We had every opportunity to sign Derrick Henry. In my understanding, listening to the people I talked to and watched and all that, if we would have signed Dak and CD in the summer, there'd have been $20 million in the salary cap to go sign Derrick. We did. But then Derrick's having this great year, and Jerry kept getting asked, why did you not sign Derrick? And he said, well, it just didn't fit. We didn't think he would fit here. We don't know that he would have had the year at Dallas that he's having in Baltimore because our offenses are different. It's a big, big excuse. Fast forward to what y'all are saying. If we just want to show, they've got a show. It's on CMT. Tracy watches it, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. There's your show. My point is, if Dion or Bill come and you don't win, the show and the circus will be there. But the problem is, would you rather have a show and a circus or figuring out a way to get wins?
But I think they will figure out a way to get wins. So I think it's D, all of the above. I think you're covered either way.
You
they have
answer
proven-
the question.
They've proven the results. So I think with either one of them, they're
No,
gonna
no,
win.
no, no, no.
Circus, hello, I've been on Dion's train for the last couple of years.
So
And
you,
the
so you're
circus
taking,
is Dallas. My whole life it's been a circus. So let's keep it going, baby. Let's keep the circus going and here we
so
are.
you're taking Dion
Yeah.
over, so again, we got a test.
Yep.
It's a survey, not a test, because there's gotta be a right answer on a test. And I'm afraid there are no right
There
answers.
are no right answers.
On the test, you've got, or not test, the survey, you would take Dion.
I'll take Dion right now. Over
Aaron Laughlin just made a good point. Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, well, that's enough. Yeah, I'm still gonna go Dion.
that would just be fun.
I would be.
At the
And
end
I
of,
need fun. My heart's been broken the last couple of years from these Cowboys. I need some fun.
I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, I thought the Dak signing was the worst signing ever. I think, like, statistically, I know what you're gonna say, Dak is throwing up stats, but so is Tony Romo.
All right, but let me ask you this. Did you think, and we got about literally 40 seconds. Do you think it was a bad signing because of money, timing, or all the above?
All the above.
I don't think the signing attack was bad. I think the timing was terrible. Because again, I don't know who was going to be quarterback. You could have let him play this year. That would have been your option. You let him play on a lame duck contract, and he could have done what Lamar Jackson did. You're gambling. If I have a great year, you're going to pay me big. Because if you don't, I'm going to go make $70 million because I led you to X. My struggle is they either should have done it in the summer or until the end of the year. But when you sign it right before, I mean, the NFL pregame shows are going on. The notification you got in church was not that not one of your fantasy guys got hurt. You got a note that Dak signed a contract right before he put on his pants.
Yep.
That was my problem with it. But anyway, it's 9 o'clock. It's time to go and head into the weekend. Hey, Cameron, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, man.
Misty, great stuff. Hey, don't forget you can get the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. No Aggie game this week. Listen to JB at 10 o'clock. And of course, Greg, Austin, and Jones will be back in on Monday. We'll be out next week. Hopefully the Cowboys win. Who knows? We'll see you next week.